All right, go ahead.
So this is no, we got it. This is Make 2010, and our team was Noah Smith and Sydney White. So what we made, we created a Scratch game. Our game was called Brick, but on the website it says Make Project Cindy and Noah. It was free, and our only materials was a computer with internet access and a Scratch download. And this is our timeline. Okay. It's weird, but in our original design, we had a lot of time researching, and then we had a week researching. We had a week planning it out. Yeah, and then 2 weeks to actually make it. But in reality, we really didn't research a whole week, and we took a much longer time to actually create the game. So there were a lot of changes over time. At first, we just made a simple game where you could just like bounce the brick around, so there was a ball around, so there was like really no winning or losing. And then we thought about a snake game because we were researching on Scratch to find out like other ideas. But that seemed a little too complicated, and we felt like we wouldn't be able to do it in our time frame. Then we went back to our idea of having the ball bounce, except we would add bricks. And so we finished our first level in a couple days, and so we really had a schedule, so we thought, hey, why not add an extra level? And this created a lot of difficulties, because we thought that it would just be as easy as the second level, but we had trouble making everything reappear afterwards. And finally, we had solved all our problems and downloaded them to Scratch. So there were a lot of complications. One we already mentioned was setting the levels. And we made different variables. So there was like, for a different level, so there was a variable for level 1, and then there was a variable for level 2, and then there was also a variable for level 3. And also setting the variable total bricks accordingly. Well, actually what the problem about that was that we had to make sure that when all the bricks would equal 0, then it would change to the next level, but it was really difficult trying to setting that number. So we would count the number of bricks we had, play the game, and then it would sometimes be like -1 or -2. Average out the differences and subtract that from the original number, so how many there were. Their magic number, and changing the backgrounds, which we actually figured that out. Well, all we needed to do was make the backgrounds a script. Yeah. Oh, okay. And making the bricks disappear at different times. And we made a different broadcasted message for each brick. Because if it said like broadcast disappear, then if you touch one brick, all of them would disappear, and that caused a problem. Kind of ruined the game. So we actually had successes. You can go do the first one. It worked fairly well. That was the goal we were striving for. So we learned how to work with Scratch, and that could help us also with like video game. And Scratch was like the basic programming, and you probably wouldn't take that. That could be a foundation for future. And then we documented all days except for one. And that helped us develop our documentation skills, which you guys will hear later about. And we cooperated pretty well, which is always good. So, would we do it again? No. I've had a lot of headaches finding out how to make the right scripts for each one, so the thing would work. I actually wouldn't do it again. It was a little boring, and there were a lot of problem solving, and sometimes it seemed like, oh my gosh, it'd be impossible. And I would rather do something a little more fun, quote unquote. So, did we have enough research? I think we should have done a little bit more research so we didn't have to fix all those glitches during the actual thing. And we were constantly saying, okay, well we have this problem. Let's look back at another game on Scratch and see how that was made. So we did that a lot. And if we had used more time like before to research and kind of premeditate all of our problems, we would have saved time like now trying to solve the problems. So there was a lot of troubleshooting involved, and we solved problems on our own.
we could have looked at other scripts to copy those and fix it.
And what did we like?
We enjoyed trying to find our ideas for the project by playing different games.
That was fun, and we enjoyed playing different versions of the game and seeing the difference in programming. Well, this is kind of like a game we were thinking
about, which we were thinking about, but
fun game actually. And so, how do we
documentation was excellent. We documented every single day, or almost all the days. Most of them had pictures.
And we also learned how to use the documentation and reflection prompt, which is good. And each person documented twice a week, so we were really like persistent in making sure that, okay, today's your day to document, make sure you get on that.
One of our few improvements would the text could have been larger, which we eventually did.
And most of our pictures came with coding. Maybe we could have done something a little more like creative. And this is our blog. See if
the other one was a file.
This is a sample of our blog. This is like when we were documenting. When we were making a PowerPoint, we posted a link of our PowerPoint. Just some pictures. A lot of pictures.
These pictures, we could have added something else. Hence why we said it was kind of boring.
Okay. And so please enjoy our game, which I'm just doing a demonstration of our game, see if it works on the scratch. I just took the chair.
Here.
Well, we have to start from the beginning. Yeah, just a little slow.
What's happening? Use a cheat.
Yeah, and we actually installed a cheat in there. We were bored, so if you press X, you could actually follow the mouse like that.
Well, that's the only reason we did that was to speed up everything since it took forever.
So and also so it would be easier to test our ideas. And that's our presentation.